Anyway, what is up, people? Really? What is up, people? I'm back here again today for another daily episode of the streams. Because literally we everywhere. We stream every day, everywhere, all the time. And if this is the first time you're coming across me, Oli, or her, Steph, I want to welcome you to the show. And I usually do my shows by myself, but on Fridays, we have kind of a relationship show. I bring my better half and then we talk. We share what we're experiencing. We share our visions, the way we see things, the way we deal with things as a couple. And this stream, this Facebook Live or Instagram, or even the podcast is going to be on my podcast. It's going to be on your channel as well. So if this is the first time you're coming across us and you like what you hear, extremely important that you go and then subscribe to the relevant channel. It could be YouTube, Facebook, the podcast. If you subscribe to the podcast, make sure that you leave it a review. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. Even if you hate, let us know. At least we know. Okay.
So we can do it again.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really what we do. I specialize in helping men transform their mind through the body. I've got an online coaching platform to do that. And Steph, do you want to talk? It's so weird to call you Steph, man. Steph, do you want to talk about what you do?
Oh, thank you, Oli. Right. So I change moms' lives. Okay. I take moms who feel overwhelmed and drained and they just can't get control over their life again. They can't get in touch with their inner woman again. And I help them get fit, get happy, get confident, and just be in full control over their lives and their freaking families.
Okay. That's a powerful pitch.
But
anyway,
that's what I do.
Good. Anyway, so what are we talking about today?
I don't know.
So you came here unprepared. You came here. I'm going to put it on my channels and
wait. Oli, I'm your guest.
You know what?
You're the host.
I can treat you as a guest and then just blast you with questions.
Yeah, okay, let's do that.
Roll with it.
Come on, let's do that. Show me what you got, baby.
We got to take this thing serious now.
Okay.
We got to take it serious. Okay. This is one of the shows I believe like where we're not necessarily talking about like health, fitness, but we're talking more about like
relationship wise.
The relationship, like how we're coping with things.
Okay.
Tell me about something I did recently that you didn't like.
I like everything about you.
Oh, shut up. Please. Next, please. So that we can make it the topic of the show.
I honestly, there's nothing crossing my mind.
Oh, really?
You say. Okay, you pick something.
So this morning...
Yeah, you see, there's plenty.
I've got plenty of stuff. This morning after I had my workout, I felt a bit tired, so I felt that I could rest for 30 minutes, which is closing my eyes for a power nap. And I got woken up, awakened, whatever the word is. You came in to wake me up by screaming. And you know how much I hate screaming. And something just keep doing over and over again.
I'm not screaming. I'm just very loud, very excited. And I don't scream. I'm just loud. Like, it's genetic.
So for that, and on top of that, you gave me one of those excuses like, I'm sorry, I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
Well, I did apologize after that.
I was sleeping, man. Like you cut me into my sleep. It was something really important to me.
I'm okay. So I guess because I'm a morning person, and like once I open my
eyes,
person,
yeah, I got up at 4:45.
No, you get up at 4:45 or 4:35, but you forcing yourself to do that. You're struggling. You are, you don't feel it necessarily straight away.
And that's because yesterday night, you people were disturbing me when I was
that's not the point.
Okay.
Well, I'm a morning person. Like, it doesn't matter what time I wake up at. Once I open my eyes, I don't stop. I do and do. And you know that. The only time that I might sit down for like 5 minutes, maybe it's around 4 or 5 p.m. That's it.
Right.
And I guess it's because, I made that mistake to have the same expectation from you and not, see you as a completely different person with your own, habits and everything else. So it was my fault for that. And I did apologize. Like, I shouldn't have, push you so hard to be someone you are not.
I think what we're going to make today's topic, because I think like if I want to sit down here and then talk about everything you do which I don't like, we're not going to go anywhere. So
we're gonna be here for a few days.
look straight there.
I'm sorry, we're gonna be here for a few
we're going to be
days.
there for a few days. So what we're going to do instead, I think we should be talking about how you deal with
Something you don't like about your partner.
okay, let's go at it. Seems that
how to manage the situation.
Seems that you got things to say and to share. So talk to me. How do you deal with it?
No, like you see the way I dealt with it, it was not very nice, was it? And
you can scream at me like you
yeah, exactly. Like how
I just close my eyes for 20 minutes.
How to actually manage conflicts in a relationship.
Yeah,
so like you don't come across like being bossy or being too pushy or not, or disregarding your feelings or who you are as a person or what you stand for, and not trying to replace, be the figure of a mom or you be the figure of a dad who's just imposing authority. Like that line is very thin.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's very thin to be like, yo, you my woman, you're not my mom. Like you can't fucking order my life.
So what are the steps? Okay, let's systemize things a little bit. What are the steps in conflict management? Things that we've done which were successful and things that we've done which were not successful.
Okay, so
from your side,
successful. I think whenever we managed to properly deal with the conflict, it was when first of all I would have the full facts of what's happening or why did you do it, your emotions regarding that, what made you do it, what was the reason for you to act that way or do that thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? To have the full background story of why you reacted like that or why you acted like that.
Okay.
And then simply, based on that, trying to understand, like put myself like in your shoes and try and see like, okay, I don't know, maybe he had a few days when he fell down, maybe he failed and at something, I don't know, whatever it is in life, you had a failure and you are carrying this frustration and pain with you, and then something just happened and you snap. Like I need to understand that background story as well. If I just take your snap, I'd be like, motherfucker, why are you doing this shit? Like, what's wrong with you?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know you to be this kind of person.
Okay.
Where is this coming from? And I'll just take all my anger and throw it at you. And there would not be conflict resolution. There would be
I think conflict, inflammation.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I think the only time, like, those times when we managed to deal with it politely or, still have love and respect, it was when you try to understand where that was coming from. And then think of who you are as well. Because like this morning, the reason why I was such, I was bitchy is because I was expecting you to be like me. I was expecting you to have the same behavior in the morning, which is not possible because you are you and I am I. And I failed to see you for who you are. And that led to what led to 30 seconds of screaming.
So what are the steps then for conflict resolution for you?
Okay, acknowledge the background story. Acknowledge who, the person you are with is, because you know who that person is, who you are on a daily basis. And put yourself in the other person's shoes and then talk, like fucking talk a lot about it. Like make him or her sit down and be like, yo, this is what happened. I dislike it. Make your feelings, make your partner aware of your feelings, of how he made you feel, why you felt that way, where the problem is, and communicate. If you don't communicate, the other person is never ever going to know where the problem is.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Like if you're upset with me this morning without telling me why you were upset, I'd be like, this one is such a dickhead in the morning.
It's pretty obvious you woke me up.
Yeah, exactly. It was obvious, but maybe I was so self-absorbed in my own problems that I wouldn't pay attention to that.
Well, it's pretty. I believe that the way we deal with it, which is pretty similar to what you just said, and came up with one thing and one golden rule, which we never break.
Yes.
You know the golden rule, isn't it?
Communication.
Yes, communication. And more importantly, in communication, when we go even a step further, we never go to bed with being upset. And that's like the golden rule, which reminds us like, okay, you know what, like especially when it comes to night time, we have to go to bed and then
you're like, oh shit, I need to have the conversation.
Oh man, and it's really forcing it a bit like, okay, maybe like this morning I was a bit upset, but right now, like, let's bring it up, let's deal with it, let's talk about it, because if you get yourself into the situation where you sleep on it and you wake up the following day, and I'm sure you can attest to that as well. When you wake up the following day and you haven't resolved the issues, things are not really well. Right? Things are really bad.
That happened only once to us anyway. So
and that one was bad.
It was very bad. It fucked my mood for the whole week.
That was
we were fine, but I was still angry with myself for 1 week.
Yeah.
Because I broke the golden fucking rule.
Yeah, the golden rule is like really. I think that was what so I was like, let's deal with it as it happens straight away.
Yeah, and you know the human ego, regardless if you're a woman or a man, it's so fucking strong.
Yeah,
and your own ego will self-sabotage you.
Yeah.
And even if you love and respect the shit out of that person,
yeah,
your ego will be like, yo, it's been 2 days, he hasn't approached you, or she hasn't approached you, you haven't discussed stuff, and then your ego will be like, he doesn't care about you, she doesn't care about you, why would you do that? And then from there, or you know, both egos, it just becomes like a war, and you put the love and the respect on the side, and all you keep is just that stupid pride. Millions of people have died because of pride throughout the history of fucking human beings.
Yeah.
And it's like, we don't learn the lesson.
Yeah.
We rather embrace ego and hate than love and respect.
Yeah.
And that's fucking crazy.
Well, you know, like when when did we establish this rule actually?
From the beginning of our relationship.
Yeah. And that was because of past experiences.
Yes,
which we have to acknowledge and learn from.
Of course.
And really coming up and be like, yo, this is how this thing should be.
Yeah.
So that we deal with it, we move on. Okay. Some things you may carry over like a couple of days and be like, hey, you remember that's what you would do that. You remember like 2 weeks ago? You did that. Do you feel you forgot about it? We talked about it, but I didn't forget about it. That's the shit you know.
But you know, it takes a while to forget, but you do forgive instantly.
Yeah. And I think it just waters down the tensions as well.
Yes, of course.
Again, like the funny thing is, like every time these things happen and then we start talking about it, like, this is just
it's stupid dumb shit. Like and you know what? You never actually argue. You never actually argue for what you're arguing. Like that you didn't put the plate in the sink. That's not the problem.
There's something else.
There's something else.
Issue.
Exactly. There's a bigger issue behind it.
Yeah.
That's why communication is so important. Like, who gives a fuck about a plate? I just go and fucking bin it and I'll get another one. It's like 50p. Like, seriously. Nobody cares about that.
Yeah.
And the only way to get to the issue, to the real issue, is to talk. It's to communicate.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, you know, this time and that time and that time and that time and that time, then your relationship is going to fall apart eventually, because there will be no truth left in that relationship.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the same with a lot of things happening in life as well. You need to like look at it, acknowledge it, and then face it.
Yeah.
Confront it. Like no matter what it is, it could be relationship, it could be anything. I mean, we training, coaching people is the same thing.
Yeah.
When you come in and then you're in a situation, like, dude, look at your current situation.
Yeah.
Okay, understand and acknowledge it. Be like, yo, this is happening.
It hurts people to actually see the reality.
It is.
Look, everybody we're working with, like, you know, they get tears in their eyes and they're so angry with themselves, and they just, you know, they have all these negative feelings.
I mean,
because they're not used. Yeah, because they're not used to accept, acknowledge, okay, that's where I am, that's what happened, whatever reason, whatever brought me here, fuck that, I can do better from this point onwards. And it's really hard to develop this kind of mindset. You need help to develop this kind of mindset.
It hasn't been easy. It came with a lot of, like, for me personally, it came with a lot of struggles and really like keep going over the same situation over and over again. And I realized that, okay, you know what, this is the bottom line. This is how I need to approach this current situation. And then we need to really communicate. What do you want to add towards beside the golden rule? I'm going to add another golden rule again. Don't you ever wake me up screaming again. That's golden rule number 2. Don't. I'll stop you with that shit. No, seriously, like that's going to be golden rule number 2.
I believe is, you know, respect who the other person is. Like, honestly, respect who the other person is.
What do you mean by respect who the other person is? What do you mean by that?
Like, for example, you're very slow in the morning, and I need to respect that.
Yeah, and that's why I'm waking up at 4 a.m. because like, by the time you up, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm up now.
I mean, yeah, I need to respect that. I mean? The same way, you know, I'm crazy and I run around in the morning and I drive you dizzy because I don't stop, and you're like, shit, take a break, woman. Like, you respect that about me. You like, go downstairs and be crazy down there. leave me up
Don't
here.
disturb me.
Yeah, exactly. And you respect that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, just respect each other.
Yeah, guys, by the way, Steph actually talks a lot about this. I think you talk about me as well in this booklet.
I do. Yes, of course I do. I always talk about you.
Steph talks a
Who
lot
would
about.
I be without you?
Oh, man. Talks a lot about how we managing conflicts in our relationship in this booklet. I've got a chapter for you, by the way.
I don't know. Talk about your thing until I find this one.
She's got this great booklet, The Superhero Mom. It's the blueprint on how you can have it all as a mom. And there's a link on the Instagram story. We're going to put a link down here as well. If you're listening to the podcast, I'll put the link in the description of the podcast so that you can actually go ahead, grab yourself one of those bad boys. This is literally like what, 20-30 minutes read?
Yes, maximum.
30
Yeah,
minutes read.
It doesn't take longer than that.
It's packed with value, and she's also got the audio version of it.
I do.
Yeah, you got the audio version of it. It's really powerful. I like the audio because, like, you know, you feel it. You feel
yes,
the power.
I'm there with you. I'm screaming at you. I'm showing you facts.
She's really ripping them. So there's a link somewhere on this video or this podcast. Go grab yourself a booklet, The Superhero Mom, the blueprint on how you can have it all as a mom. So do you have it all as a mom?
I do. I do have it all as a mom.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, like, you know, when I became a mom, it was the most horrible thing that could have happened to me. Like, I lost touch with my inner woman. My relationship with you was going south. I couldn't be myself anymore.
You got depressed.
I got depressed. I couldn't take care of myself anymore.
Yeah.
Like, life as I knew it was fucking gone. Like, 100%.
Okay.
And then I was like, shit, nobody's going to turn my life around unless I do. So I had to take active steps to improve my life.
And you put that down.
And I poured so much into everything. And should I tell them? Okay, let me tell them that soon I'll be launching the book as well, because I have like so much to share and so much advice to give you guys that this is not enough. So get ready for a big ass freaking book.
Yeah, this was a 57 pages booklet. So that's going to. I'm working on the book as well. I'm writing a book. It may take a bit of time to get completed, but eventually I will get there. You know, like one day I'm trying to commit myself to write at least a certain number of pages, which I'm not going to reveal here because I know it's going to be a challenge. But just the fact of for me to commit to that at least every day and really putting it down on paper is something truly extraordinary. Shall we wrap it up?
I should come and scream at you when you write your stuff.
No, please. Like when I'm writing my book, like I need peace. I need no noise. I need to be in a very quiet zone.
I know.
To get in the zone. Okay. I mean, I'm not like you. You can literally just pour down things like bang, and I'm like. Oh,
I'm a woman. I carry way more
emotions
and memories than you.
I don't.
Like, yeah, it's normal. It's how we made.
So today what we talked about is really like how to manage conflict in a relationship, like what we do. Me and Steph, we had quite a few, you know.
Lately, we've been quite stressed.
Yeah, at first it was all jolly.
Have you noticed how we had more conflict since we became parents?
Yeah.
Because now we are arguing because of the kiddo as well.
Yeah,
like one wants to cut his hair, I don't want to cut his hair.
Yeah, I want to cut his hair. And then we
just keep talking about it.
I would take responsibility for the fact that I want to cut my son's hair.
Like, yeah, I don't.
The mother thinks that this is something exotic.
You should add a picture with his hair in the video so people can get, give an opinion if we should cut his hair or not.
The kid is struggling. He's scratching his head all the time. Even when you're buffing him, you got to do all these things. Like, yo, look at that. That's easy to maintain. You don't want to waste time on these things. How much time you waste on your hair?
Quite a lot, actually. I feel like
there you go. You see? And then you want your son to have that burden of having like a big thing on his head.
When he can grow up, he can cut it.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, as a parent, you could make that decision. Anyway, so we talked about like our crisis management, and that's one of the topic again we haven't got to the bottom of, honestly.
You could speak weeks about it.
We haven't reached any sort of like agreement or like, you know, we're going to do this, we're going to do that about it. And eventually I'm sure we're going to get to the bottom of it. One of us obviously will budge and then let the other one get to whatever he wants. And I think, since we became parents, like we had a lot to deal with. We had a lot. Right?
It's a lot more, yeah. When you're a parent, life is way much fucking crazier than
and the way we approach it again, like with everything, first we acknowledge it. Something happened. Okay. We when we acknowledge it, we really look at like personality type. I know what you like, you know what I'm like. And then secondly, we really want to understand the position. I mean, if you start screaming at me because I didn't put my plate away, there is an underlying issue behind it. It's not about the plate. The plate is just going to go and drop it. There's something that's happening, and that's what we need to bring out.
Yes.
Golden rule, which we've been doing pretty well with so far, is whatever happened, deal with it within 24 hours. Do not go to bed when you know that, okay, shit happened and then it hasn't been resolved. And by the way, you can get the Super Euroman booklet. It's free, by the way, so there will be a link somewhere on the page, on the podcast, on Facebook, Instagram, whichever way you're listening to this or watching it. Grab the Super Euroman booklet. It's a great booklet, 57 pages, 30-minute read, packed with value. I think we're going to wrap it up with a little paragraph there. It's so good, I know I'm just going to pick a paragraph and it's going to be good.
Okay, just pick one.
All right, so Chapter 7. Big fat lies. Oh, right. Let's start here. Marketing in the 21st century has reached a whole new level. A company set up on one side of the world can easily sell to the opposite side of the planet. The power of online marketing is unlimited. As expected, the fitness industry has grown massively. Why do I say as expected? Because every day people become more shallow. Any woman you pick out of 3.5 billion on the planet would want to change something about her appearance. How did we get there? Free access to everything. Hell yeah, I want new boobs too. After nearly 2 years of breastfeeding, no chest exercise is going to repair the damage. At the same time, the reasonable me is like, why would you want to endanger your life voluntarily by having a surgery? Have you lost your mind? There is a duality when it comes to the perfect body, and this duality is highly abused by the market. Your weakness become their best selling point. Guys, get Super Your Mom. The link is in the booklet. By the way, if you're wondering what this big boy is here, this is my workout manual. It's got over 4,500 minutes of workout. This is what I'm using to coach my clients in Rise Academy and make them super awesome. I'm also going to link that up in the description. Thank you for coming into my show, and thank you people for taking me onto Steph's show as well. It's going to be on the podcast, so please leave me a review of the podcast, okay? Help me grow. I really appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure.
All right. Peace out. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.